All right, questions. So I've done a good job lately of creating some contrast in my life that has reminded me of how much I enjoy having fun and even sensationally feeling good. And it's been a little up and down, but I think for the most part I'm focusing on having more stability with that in my life. So what my question is how can I invite infinite intelligence into those moments where I'm noticing that I'm beginning to plummet?
You can't. That's not the right time. That's that falling
Well,
out of the
I
airplane.
want to catch it. I want to catch it before I start going down. I want to invite maintaining.
You do catch it by being aware, but we're not encouraging you to expect of yourself to maintain connection and alignment all day, every day, because step one is as important a part of the process as step 2 or 3. Step 1 is you're usually out of alignment when you're having it because you're exploring contrast, so you know what you don't want, you know what you do want, you know no, but there's a lot of knowing what you don't want that's part of that step 1 process usually. So then step 2 is source lines up with what you've decided that you want, even though you haven't. And now you have the emotional awareness that you're not in alignment with what you want, and that's the step 3 part, by utilizing that emotional awareness to just bring you gradually into alignment. So it just gets better and better. But alignment is not like a college degree where once you have the diploma, it's yours to present everywhere you go. It either is or it isn't in the moment. And what you're really wanting is more moments of alignment. But someone who says, I want to be in alignment every single moment, is someone who says, I've given up expansion. And you haven't. You don't want to give up expansion, so you need contrast. And if you need contrast, then you need awareness of what you don't want. And if you need awareness of what you don't want, then you're going to have some negative emotion. But is it a bad thing? Is negative emotion a bad thing? No, it's guidance. Is positive emotion a good thing? Yes, it's a good thing, but it's also guidance. It's all guidance, you see. So give yourself a break. Stop holding yourself to standards that you're picking up from somebody else, and just have the fun you say you want to have.
Well, it just feels so good to have fun. It feels so good to be in my body feeling good instead of being in my body feeling shitty.
Yeah. So it's a choice. But sometimes if there's momentum, this is the thing that we're hearing from a lot of you, and we really want to speak this in a powerful way. Sometimes by not catching it at the early subtle stages, more momentum takes place before you make the decision. But it does not matter how much momentum has taken place before you make the decision. It's just easier to change the direction of the momentum if it is in the early subtle stages. But just because it's easier to change the direction of the momentum doesn't mean that it's necessarily the very best thing, because sometimes a strong desire, even if it's a strong desire that is currently being challenged by a vibration that opposes it, is still a strong desire, you see. People would rather feel negative emotion than no emotion at all. And we would rather that you were feeling negative emotion than no emotion at all. We have never been, and we never will be, encouragers of what you are striving for in terms of perfect behavior. We think you would all benefit by leaving this gathering saying, I'm doing just fine, and negative emotion is not a bad thing, and things are getting better and better for me, and most of all, I love knowing when I'm having negative emotion. I love knowing that I'm having negative emotion.
Because I'm alive and I can feel it.
Because I'm aware. And not only am I aware that I'm feeling negative emotion, I'm aware of what it means. It means there's something I want that I'm contradicting the energy of. How much do I want it? Does it matter to me? If it matters to me, then I'm going to change my vibration. You see, there's a sort of cycle going on here. And we want to speak to this because we may be offering some confusion to you, and we want to clear it up. On the one hand, we say to you that if you've got something going on and you don't know it, so you don't do anything about it, don't worry, it will get bigger. And when it gets bigger, then eventually you'll become aware of it. And then we say, and if you catch it in the earlier subtle stages, it's earlier to shift. And then we say, but if you don't catch it, then big stuff goes into your vortex. And then we say, everything that you want is for the feeling of it. And then you say, well, I want to feel good. And then we say, well, then don't worry about feeling bad. And you say, wait, if everything I want is because I think I will feel better in the having of it, then shouldn't I be aware of how I feel? And isn't it prudent? Wouldn't it be wise? Wouldn't it be better for me to be always holding myself in as good a feeling place as I could find? And we say yes. But can you hear that what we're really saying in all of this is that it does not matter? We're making too much of it. You can't get it wrong, and you never get it done. And the reason that you can't get it wrong is because it's never done. So of course you want to go do something that's fun, but you don't want to be there doing that thing that's fun all the time. Do you really want to spend the rest of your life in the arena with that sporting event? Or would you like to go home and take a nap? Would you like to go swimming? Would you like maybe to have a stimulating conversation? In other words, do you really want to do only what's fun, or just sometimes you want to do something that's interesting? Sometimes you want to have a tender thought. Sometimes you want to have an emotional thought that gives you more clarity. In other words, you don't just want to have fun. You want to have variety, but you want to be in control of the variety that you're having. And just like the father that we were talking to about his 17-year-old, you are not ever going to be in control of your vibration if you don't allow yourself to have some emotions that are not always off the wall enthusiasm and fun. You see? So sometimes you want to mold the clay in a powerful way. Sometimes you want to get hold of it, and sometimes you want to do something more subtle with it. But it's all interesting, and it's all satisfying, and it's all right. You see? You just want to chill out and accept your goodness and take it as it comes and direct it a little more and be more aware of your energy and be more aware of the way you feel and guide it a little more and laugh more and criticize less and have fun. Yeah, but don't hold yourself to the standard that says, I'm in this world, but I must not observe it, and I shouldn't think about the past. I should only be pre-paving about the future. Don't hold yourself to these standards. That makes you put us in the parental role that this son is not wanting his father to be. This is not the message that we're giving to you. We're saying to you, you're good and you're right and you can figure it out, and figuring it out is the fun part. Figuring it out is the fun part. And nothing's going to sustain you for very long. This little car is Esther's favorite toy. She wants to be in it all day, every day. She keeps looking down her list. Isn't there something that requires driving somewhere? Surely there must be something out there that I need to drive to. But it's not going to feel that way to her forevermore. It's just going to feel that way for a little while, you see. Something else will catch her attention. And it doesn't make what caught her attention before wrong. You see. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's your willingness to come and sift through the contrast in order to give birth to the new desires that is causing the expansion of the universe. But it is not the expansion of the universe that we are all rooting for. It's not the expansion of the universe. While it's a lovely thing and necessary to the continuing existence of all of us, so we suppose it's somewhat important, but it is not the expansion of the universe that any of us are about. It's the pleasure in the expansion. It's the pleasure in causing it to expand. It's the pleasure in knowing in what way we want it to expand. It's the pleasure in the ability to focus things into beingness, you see. And so we just want to emphasize that when you are having these experiences where you are appreciating something, we're right there in your appreciation. But our pleasure is present in your experience, whether you're having pleasure in that moment or not. And we just want to point out to you that when you have that extreme pleasure that you are articulating, what it is every single time is you mastering in that moment the vibrational altitude or attitude that those like us have within you, and it is our pleasure that is reverberating through you that you are calling positive emotion. Does that make sense to you? In other words, that's you discovering how we feel about what you're doing right now. That's what that emotion is.